What's up, everybody? This is Jay, and this is my video recap for Insecure Season 4, Episode 4, LOWKEY Losing It. Now, the ladies have been going through a lot of drama, and I think it's really brought on by themselves because of a lack of communication and basically fronting. Before we get into it, if you haven't already, please subscribe and bang that bell if you enjoy my videos, and if you enjoy my recaps with a touch of humor, hit that like and recommend it to others. Now, let's get into it. We see this first episode that Issa is sitting at the computer and she's still putting the block party together. When it starts off, we're now down to 1 month before the block party starts, and so it seems everything's going good. People are saying, hey, schoolboy Q is there, I'm there. So she happy, she over here doing her thing, but then she get a knock at the door. Ain't nothing but these ratchet ass tenants she got, led by the most ratchet fake Badu of them all. And then next thing you know, Shaba Ranks is in there. You're trying to treat us like the people in Flint, Mr. Loverman. And so everybody roasting, even the kids saying, how old are you? Meanwhile, Nappy Chan, he coming through to go ahead and get a little hot chocolate from Molly. They kissing, smooching. One thing lead to another. They in the bed. He about to dip his egg roll in a little soy sauce. And while they getting everything going, she's still thinking about work. And so she says, just give me a second, let me handle a few things, and then I'm gonna let you handle a few things. And so she goes in there, gets the work done, but of course it takes forever, and it's almost 2 in the morning. Nappy Chan sleep. She gotta go ahead and wake up, them some and give him some. And of course it seems things is going good, but meanwhile we see Issa. She's got a lot of stuff she trying to get nailed down, and for some reason she ain't been able to reach Condola. Multiple messages that haven't been returned, and she's leaving weird messages on her phone answering machine. Meanwhile, she going over there to hang with Tiff after the baby. She getting ready to park when all of a sudden Molly comes in from the back. She trying to hit it from the back. Now, hitting it from the back is good except for when you in a car, and she know damn well you don't park in that space coming in from the front. Issa was there first, and then Molly talking about, no, this is my space, I'm here first. So they trying to go back and forth about who gonna get the space. Issa ended up being the bigger person and leaves, but in reality Molly was wrong. She just deboed that girl's spot, because in the end she has to go and get in the position that Issa was in. Everybody knows you back in, you don't pull in front first. She just took her spot, and if I was Issa, I would have backed in anyway, and she would have messed up her damn Audi trying to take that spot. You better move that damn car. Anyway, Issa was the bigger person. Look at all that space. They probably both could have fit in there. Nevertheless, she let Molly have it. She come back. She like, hey, you need to get me a ride to my car afterwards since I let you have a spot. And Molly like, anyway, you ain't let me have a spot. I was there first. So that was some bull right there. So anyway, they talking. They like, look, we ain't had our little self-care Sunday. You still want to do it? Yeah, I still want to do it. You still want? Yeah, I still want to do it. Knowing damn well neither of them still want to do it. Meanwhile, it's just so much easier when you see how guys communicate. We just so straightforward. It's not all that emotional baggage and the stuff attached to it. Hey man, look, what's up with your daughter? Oh, that's beautiful. Oh man, imagine, man, dude's gonna try to finger my daughter, man. And that's really how guys talk. Every guy I know that had a daughter always talk about what dude's gonna try to do and what they ain't gonna allow. Meanwhile, we see Tiffany, and she got a little titty milk pumping out, but at the same time she's sipping on a little sham pipple. So I don't know, maybe baby gonna get a little drunk, got a little milk spiked. So we see that she talking about she had the support of her husband. Molly trying to say, yeah, I got my support of my man. Issa make a joke. Molly get offended. And so now she all sensitive. Everybody else just laughed it off, but she's sensitive about it because she thinking, Issa coming for her. And so when Issa asked where something was, Molly like, oh, it's over there. We moved it over there last week when you didn't show up. As in like trying to rub it in her face that she didn't show up, or she missing out or not there. I don't know, but that was petty. So when Molly go to help Tiffany with the baby, Issa like, man, is she coming at you saying something about me? And Kelly crazy ass, no, she ain't getting it. So they leave it alone. she assuming the wrong things. And it's funny that Molly is asking Tiffany the same things about Issa, but she jumping to conclusions. She think that Issa never wanted to be happy because she owned one, and then she see Issa talking to Lawrence, so she thinking, oh, she the one that really owned one. And Andrew is talking about movie night. She blowing him off, talking about she got stuff to do. He cool. She thinking everything is all good, that he just some standby waiting for her type thing, and she talking to Tiff or whatever, but she not realizing that she's fronting, and the problems that she's causing between their relationship is because she's fronting. Meanwhile, Issa is just talking to Lawrence about the baby and different stuff, and Lawrence wanted to tell her something, probably about Condola, but she had a phone call, and it was about Schoolboy Q canceling, which was a major thing because that's the headliner for a block party, and so Lawrence didn't spill the beans. When she came back, she telling her friends while they talking, hey, I got something came up, I gotta go. So Molly talking about some thinking what came up was in Lauren's pants, not realizing that she got stuff to do. But that's where the lack of communication come from. Just keep it real. These are your best friends. There's no need for that. Meanwhile, when she's at dinner with Andrew, she's trying to say what's going on after the dinner, and he's telling her, well, I got plans. So she's salty because she thinking that he didn't have nothing to do but her. And now she realizing if she want him in her life, she need to make him a priority or she gonna lose him. Meanwhile, Issa's calling her to see if she could get some type of help for the block party, and she thinking they just calling to connect like girls. And then she realizes, because Issa said, I've been meaning to talk to you, but then she realizes, wait a minute, you only call because you want something, you still not really trying to holler. And that's where not just being upfront and keeping it real is the problem. They got all these feelings and thoughts, but they not coming forward with each other with them. She's trying to keep it real with Andrew, not telling Issa that, hey, this relationship is on the rocks. She's trying to make it up. Issa wants her to ask Andrew for some help with the Live Nation, helping with the concert. Andrew and her barely was together, but he said, I want to make it work. So of course they kind of making it work. But when she called Issa back, Issa thinking she calling back with good news, but she trying to let her know, hey, I didn't ask him and I'm not going to. But then she comes with some, well, this relationship is important to me and I want to protect that, which I think was kind of shade, because what is a relationship with you and Issa then? Nothing? You don't need to protect that? Or is the relationship with you and Issa dangerous to the relationship with you and Andrew, and you think that if you introduce that relationship that he might ruin one? So that means that what, Issa messy? So I mean, that was kind of bogus, and she feeling some kind of way trying to take a shower, but when it rains dirty water, and so she wasn't able to take a shower. And I think this was just really communication issues. Now it's time for real talk. Now what I think really is going on is people need to communicate, and this is where keeping it real goes wrong, because they think they're keeping it real, but they're keeping it real fake. If these are your best friends that you grew up with and have love for, then you shouldn't have any problems telling them straight up, hey, look, I know you want me to ask this with Andrew, but our relationship is on the rocks, and I don't want to take the chance of saying this or doing that and putting this relationship in jeopardy. Issa would have said, oh, okay, I understand, I feel you, all right, thanks. But because she been fronting the whole time as if their relationship is great and he's so understanding and there for her, which is not true. He does understand, but he's not just sitting there on the sideline. He's moving on, and he's possibly, like he told her, the honeymoon phase is over and I don't think our schedules are compatible. She's not saying that to her friends. She's portraying the image that everything is great. And so that's where the problem comes in, because they're thinking everything is great. What's the problem? And then you don't want to tell them that, because now you look like a liar. So the lies begin to compound, and that's where the problem is, and that's how they low-key losing it. And Issa, at the same time, keep it real with your friends. Hey, this block party's a lot of work. I'm struggling. My headliner dropped out, but because they having problems, then Molly is trying to say, well, maybe he dropped out because it's your fault because you messy. Well, if they would have all been communicating and keeping it real the whole time, she would have known every step of the way that, hey, this is out of her control and it was none of her doing. But because everybody is fronting and everybody is compartmentalizing different parts of their life, which is something you do with people that are not your friends, but these supposed to be your best friends day one, and you're compartmentalizing things and keeping things from them as if they're strangers. And I think that's a problem, and I think that's how they're low-key losing it. I think in the end, if you have a best friend, that's the beauty of a best friend. You can keep it real with them. That's why it is so rare to have one, and why it is so valuable when you do have one. You don't have to front. You don't have to hide. You can be yourself. You can tell them the truth and they can do the same with you. You keep it real with each other, okay? And that's something they used to do, but now they no longer do, but they're still trying to have the same friendship. But if the friendship was based on honesty, then they're not being honest with each other. They're not really being friends with each other. And so I think a lot of this can be rectified if they just put it out on the table and just be real. Just like the situation when they was in the grocery store. If you feel you need to talk, you are sitting there talking right now. Say what you need to say. Why schedule a talk date that you both don't want to have and are unable to make? That's just another thing that will be in the fire between the two of you of why this relationship is having a problem. And so this is really good season. If you really pay attention to what they're showing and doing, is showing you how to avoid and to rectify bad situations between friends. And these bad situations, they were completely avoidable. And so this is a great season so far. I give it to the writers, because if people are really watching and paying attention, they can learn from this and use some of the things that they're going through in your own lives and avoid some of the situations that they're in. That's it. I appreciate you all for watching. That's my real talk. I want to thank everybody for sticking with me through these hard times, and also everybody that still supports me at patreon.com. You guys are amazing, and I wouldn't be able to continue doing this without you. Thanks for everybody watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.